You think it's going to be a normal morning. Same house, same routines, same woman you've known for years. But then you catch it. The way she looks at you like she's trying to remember who you are. The way her patience is thinner, like it's been scraped down to the last layer. The way her phone feels more alive than the room you're standing in. And you can't prove anything. You can't point to one moment and say, that's when it changed. You just feel it in your gut. The woman you built a life with is still there, but she's also not there. And that feeling messes with your head because it makes you ask the question most men don't say out loud. What if I'm about to lose her, and I don't even know why? Not because you cheated, not because you stopped trying. You worked. You provided. You stayed loyal. You showed up. So why does it suddenly feel like you're being graded every day and failing a test you never agreed to take? That's the part that makes this scary. Because when a person becomes unpredictable, it doesn't feel like a slow change. It feels like someone swapped them while you were asleep. 1 week she's stable, practical, team-minded. Next week she's restless, cold, distant. Or she's emotional in a way that doesn't match the situation, like the smallest thing hits a nerve that's been exposed for years. And you start walking around your own home like you're in a room full of tripwires. Now here's the hard truth. For a lot of couples, this doesn't start at 40. It starts way earlier. It starts with small disappointments that never get talked about. It starts with stress that never gets a break. It starts with sleep that gets worse, then worse again. It starts with her carrying too much for too long, smiling through it and calling it just life. And then one day, the system hits a limit. That's when you see the pulling away. She's quieter at dinner. She answers slower. She's not laughing the same. She's not fighting for connection the same. And the confusing part is, when you finally notice, it can already be deep. Because from her side, it might not feel sudden at all. It might feel like she's been holding her breath for years. So when she changes, you call it random. But in her body and brain, it can feel like a buildup finally leaking out. Mood swings, irritability, sleep problems, anxiety. So no, it's not always she's being dramatic. Sometimes it's a nervous system that's running hot, with less sleep and less emotional control than before. When a woman is stressed, tired, and questioning her identity at the same time, she starts looking for relief. Not comfort, relief. And relief doesn't always come from the right place. Sometimes it comes from attention. Not because she's evil, not because she's for the streets, because attention is fast, it's easy, and it hits the brain like proof. Proof that she still matters, or that she's still seen. Proof that she's not fading into the background. And if you've never felt invisible, you won't understand how loud one small compliment can feel. At 20, attention is everywhere. It's cheap. It's background noise. But for some women at 40, attention starts to feel like oxygen. And that's when things can shift inside a relationship. Because your love, your steady, loyal love, can start to feel expected. Not worthless, just expected. And expected doesn't give the brain that spark feeling. That's not romance talk. That's brain talk. A new person's attention feels like a fresh hit, a surprise, a reward, a reminder. And once the brain learns that it can get that feeling again, it can start craving it. That's why some men feel blindsided. They think stability is the shield. They think years of building together should protect them. But if someone's self-worth is shaky underneath the surface, stability can start feeling like a cage instead of safety. And once that interpretation flips, everything gets relabeled. The same routine that used to feel like family life starts feeling like I'm stuck. The same responsibility that used to feel like we're building something starts feeling like I'm trapped. And the woman who once saw the marriage as her home starts seeing it as a life that's closing in. That's when you'll hear phrases that sound harmless but carry a threat underneath. I just need space. Need to find myself. I don't know who I am anymore. I missed out on life. I'm not happy. Those sentences aren't always about you. A lot of the time, they're about time. They're about the feeling that life is moving forward, and she's not sure she's living the right version of it. Now here's the part that makes this feel like a thriller. The outside world feeds the panic. Not always on purpose, but it does. Social media is basically a comparison machine. It doesn't show real lives. It shows highlight reels. And when a woman is already feeling restless, the algorithm serves her exactly what her mind is itching for. Starting over is brave, you deserve more, you're not too old, glow-up story, revenge body, new chapter. And if she's tired and stressed, that content doesn't feel like entertainment. It feels like a message, like the universe is talking to her. And then there's the friend factor. Her phone becomes private. Not I'm hiding a birthday gift private. More like don't touch that private. She laughs at messages, but doesn't share what's funny. She gets protective about little things. She becomes either easily irritated with you or strangely sweet, like she's trying to keep the peace while she thinks. And this is where it gets brutal. If she crosses the line emotionally or physically, she might not just betray you. She might rewrite the entire past. Suddenly, you were always the problem. Suddenly, the good years were fake. Suddenly, the family memories don't count. And from the outside, that looks insane. But psychologically, it can be a defense. Because if she admits, I messed up, she has to face guilt. And guilt is heavy. So instead, the mind does a trick. It changes the story so she can live with herself. If you become the villain, she gets to become the hero. If the marriage becomes a prison, leaving becomes freedom. And the scariest part is how fast that story can lock in. From your side, it feels like whiplash. From her side, it feels like I finally woke up. Now add kids to the mix, and everything gets 10 times worse. Because the adult mind can handle chaos. Kids can't. Kids don't care about adult self-discovery. They care about stability. And when a family splits because one person is panicking and chasing relief, the kids absorb it like shrapnel. That's why this topic isn't just drama content. It's mental health content. It's family dynamics. It's nervous systems. It's a life stage that, for some people, turns into a crisis because nobody teaches them what's happening inside the body and brain. Mayo, your job is not to panic. Your job is to see clearly. Because when you panic, you start doing dumb things. Accusing without proof. Begging with no boundaries. Trying to win her back with pressure. That doesn't create safety. It creates more threat. And if you're a woman watching yourself become unpredictable, your job is not to shame yourself. Your job is to slow down and get honest. Because here's the line that decides whether this phase becomes growth or destruction. Do you use the discomfort to rebuild your life with wisdom, or do you use it to blow up your life for a temporary high? And yes, that's a choice. Not always an easy one, but a real one. If you need support, get support. If your sleep is broken, fix it. If your stress is crushing you, lighten the load. If you feel invisible, build a life that makes you feel seen in healthy ways. Skills, strength, friendships, purpose. Because attention is not purpose. And chaos is not freedom. Chaos is just pain with good marketing. And if you're the partner watching this, here's what actually protects you. Don't ignore the signs. But don't become a detective either. Be calm, be direct, be serious. You can say something like, I'm not going to live in a relationship where I feel lied to or pushed away. If something is going on, we need to talk. If you're struggling, we can get help. But I'm not doing this half-in, half-out thing. That sentence doesn't attack. It sets a standard. Because empathy without standards becomes self-destruction, and standards without empathy becomes war. The goal is neither. The goal is stability. Because for some women, this stage isn't the end of them. It's the moment they finally stop living for everyone else and start living with intention. But for others, especially when stress, sleep issues, and identity panic pile up, it becomes a time where they chase relief in the fastest way possible. And the fastest way is rarely the healthiest way. So if this hit close to home, remember the main point. When someone becomes unpredictable, it's not always because they're bad. It's often because the system is under pressure. But pressure doesn't erase responsibility, and nobody gets a free pass to burn down the people who love them.